Welcome to this MT4 tutorial video. I hope what I'm about to show you is going to make your life a lot easier when you're trading and using the MT4 platform. I'm using the Trade Nation MT4 platform. Everyone might be using a different broker. That's perfectly fine. This should still work exactly the same as wherever you got your MT4 platform. All right, first things first, upon opening your new MT4 platform, we're going to look at a few things. Firstly, you will have a black chart here, and you will see some tools on the top with some prompts, and you'll see the dates on the bottom, and you will see the market price on the right hand side. You can also see what chart we're on by looking at the top left corner, and you can see there we're on Euro, USD, H1 or hourly. So first things first, we're going to have a look at the toolbar over here. You can see there's many different things on it, and essentially the purpose of the toolbar is to try and give us different functions within the platform, whether it be changing the time frame, changing it from bar charts to candlesticks, looking at previous trades. Anything you're trying to look for will be in the toolbar. If you want to edit your toolbar, maybe add some things in there that you might not have if it doesn't look exactly like mine, what you can do is very simple. Take your mouse, navigate to the very top under view. From there you can go to toolbars and you can choose whether you want to standardize it, whether you want charts on there, time frames, and you can even customize it here by taking away and adding things like this. Very cool little feature there. Next thing you want to do is log into a trading account probably. If you don't see on the bottom right hand side your internet connection status there, if you don't see that, if it just says no connection or invalid account, it means you are not inside your trading account and you need to log in. How we're going to do that is one of two ways. You can either go to your navigator or Control N on the keyboard and log in there through the accounts section, or you can go down to the bottom right hand side of your terminal and go to the connection status and click that over there. From here you can choose what server you want to go to, and over here you'll see is the login option. Once you've clicked that, you should get a little pop-up like this. You must put in your login details over here and select the correct server. And once you've done that, you should see your connection status like that. All right, so let's have a look at charts and let's see how we're going to firstly create a new chart on our platform. So what I'm going to do is I want to delete this chart. This is how we're going to delete it. Take your mouse, go to the top right hand side of your terminal. Don't click the big X there. Click the small one just below it. That will close the chart, and you will see now you have a black terminal. So to create a new chart, you can go to one or two places. Either go to the far left hand side under the green plus icon with the little white and blue box behind it. You can click there. It says if you hover your mouse over it, create a new chart. So that already tells you where to go. Or you can go to File. If you do not have that, you can go to File, and the very first option there is Create, or it just says New Chart. So I'm going to go with the first option I said. Go to that little icon there on your toolbar, navigate down and look for your preferred market. I'm going to choose an index market, and I'm going to stick to the US 30 or the Dow Jones there. Once you've clicked that, you will have your Dow Jones chart available to you. You can see on the chart is your option to maximize, to minimize, and to close it. I'm going to maximize it, and we're going to have a full look at this chart. That's how you create a new chart. Very simple, very easy. Right, next thing we want to do is change the colors on our chart, make it a bit more visually appealing. So changing the colors and the properties, let's start with the colors. First thing you want to do is have a close look at your chart. So zoom in, you can do that by coming to your toolbar and looking for the little magnifying glass. Pick the plus magnifying glass to zoom in, the minus magnifying glass to zoom out. You can see as I zoom in here, you can see I don't have candlesticks, but I have bar charts. So let's firstly change that back. How you're going to do that is come to your toolbar, look for the little candlesticks icon that should be next to the bar charts option, or you can go Alt 2 on your keyboard. Once you click that, you should see candlesticks. Okay, let's get back into changing the colors. So what we want to do is take our mouse and right click over the chart, go down to properties. You'll get two tabs, you'll get colors and you'll get common. We want to be under colors for now. I want to make this a white chart. Background will be white. Change the foreground will have to be black. The grid we can leave as a gray, it's not going to matter. Bar up, we will make it black. Bar down, we'll make black. Bull candle, we'll make green. Bear candle, we will make red. Once we've changed the colors and we're happy with that, we'll play around with this if you want. We can go to common next. Under common, you want to make sure scale fix is ticked. What scale fix allows you to do is to be able to move the chart up and down, not just left and right. Next, make sure show OHLC is ticked. Make sure show ask line is ticked. Make sure show period separators is ticked. And then show grid can be unticked. Once you're done with that, you should have a good looking chart. You can just click OK. There you can see it's changed all the colors, and I'm happy with that. The next thing we're going to need to do is save this as a template. Firstly, before we get into how to save it as a template, I want to make this a bit easier to look at. We will notice that on the far right hand side is where we're currently trading, and it can be a bit uneasy to look at. I preferably like to look at the market trading right in front of me in a more central area. So to do that, come to your toolbar and look for a little red arrow that's pointing to the left on an X and Y axis like this on the more right hand side to the central side of your screen here, the right hand side of your toolbar. If you hover your mouse over it, it will say shift end of the chart from right border. Click that, and once you've clicked that, you will see the market is in a bit more of a central area, so I can see it a lot easier. Okay, how to save this as a template. So what is a template? A template allows us to, whenever we're making a new chart, the template will allow us to, within the click of a button, to have all of these settings I've just put on the chart placed onto that chart as well. So not every chart you're going to have to go in and right click, go to properties and change all the properties every time. No, what you can do is right click, go to template and select your save template. So let's save this as a template first, and then we can try and select it. How I want to prove to you that it works, or that it's going to take us to that saved template, is I'm going to just make this, for the time being, I'm going to make this a black background, or let me make it a gray background, just so you can see what I mean. So put a gray background like that, and I'm going to save this as a template. I'm going to right click on my chart, look under template, and then go to save template. I'm going to save this template as gray. That's what I will call it. So that, you can just click save. Now we want to just close this chart so that we have no more charts left. And let's go ahead and close the whole terminal. The reason I'm doing that is we have to close the terminal and reopen it to load that template so that we can use it going forward. So let's reopen it and see here, nothing. So let's go ahead and practice putting on a new chart. Let's go to File, New Chart, and let's get our index. I'll put the Dow Jones up there. So now if I come to this blank chart, when I've created it, I can just right click, go to template, and I can select the one I want to use, which is gray. And you can see there, it saved everything for me. Once you've selected a template, the only property it does not say is if you right click, go to properties, you will see under common, scale fix is unticked. So you must just tick that if you want to be able to move it up and down. And that's how you save it as a template. I'm going to change this back. I have a template saved here as template 1. Quite happy with this for now. Okay, let's get into the next part. How do we navigate properly through a chart? To be able to navigate through a chart effectively, we need to go over a few things. How do we move our chart up and down? What you want to do is take your mouse anywhere on the chart, left click, hold, and drag down to go up. Left click, hold, and drag up to go down. So I'm pushing my mouse up to go downward while I'm dragging it. So left click, hold, and dragging it. And then I'm doing the opposite to go up. To move left, you want to make sure you come to your toolbar, go to the little green arrow that's pointing to the right on an X and Y axis. That's what the icon looks like. If you hover your mouse over it, it says scroll the chart to the end on tick incoming. Untick that. What you'll have to do then from there on to move left or to move back in history, we'll have to take your mouse, left click, hold, and drag it to the right. And you'll see as I'm doing that, I can move effectively to previous days of trading like this. And in the opposite, to go back to more recent data, you will just left click, hold, and drag from the right hand side of your screen to the left. To elongate the candles, whether it be stretching it, whether it be making it shorter, take your mouse and go to the far right hand side of your chart and hover over where price is. Then you can left click, hold, and drag up to stretch it like that, or you can left click, hold, and drag down to shrink it. So try practice that a bit. To make the candles fatter or thinner, what you will do is come down to where the dates are. Left click, hold and drag right to make it fatter, and left click, hold and drag left to make it thinner like that. And that's how you can effectively size and navigate through the charts on NT4. Right, so how do you put indicators onto your chart? Let's cover that quickly. To put indicators on your chart, you want to go to your indicators list. So that'll be on your toolbar. If you look for the little green plus icon, more on the right hand side of your toolbar or central of the screen, and it is got a little white blank page behind it. If you hover your mouse over it, will say indicators list. You click that, and for example, we want to add a moving average. We can just navigate under trend and we can put in a moving average here. Now everyone uses different moving averages, but for this case I'm just going to put in my 50 period simple moving average. That would be the NA method, and I'm going to make it a dark blue and just click OK. Once I've clicked OK, you can see the moving average has been added to the chart. Now, if I want to add another moving average, or let's say another indicator, what you can do is go to your indicators list tab over there, and you'll see moving average will normally appear top of the list. Whatever you use last will appear there. You can click that. And let's say I want to add from 8 exponential moving average, which I'll put in green, and you can do that. Works the exact same if you want to put in a oscillator or RSI or anything like that. Just go to your indicators list, look under oscillators, and for this example, I'm not going to put RSI for stochastic. Another ones that we use is K period 50, D period 24, and slowing 1. And the colors will be a main of a blue, the second being a red. If you come to levels here, you will see there's a place you can add levels. So I'd like to add all our Fibonacci levels onto it. Takes you just a second. All you need to do is click add, and you can put in the value over here. Let's give you few seconds and I'll do this. Once you've done that, you can click OK. And then you should have your stochastic or your RSI. You can put whatever you want to put over there. Yeah, so some tools we can put in. What we want to do is navigate to our toolbar and look under insert. So you can put them in this way. Whether you want to put in a shape or a rectangle, you can just click that. Once you've selected that, you can right click, hold and drag and throttle down. To edit the properties of this, you will just want to double left click on any one of the corners on the rectangle. You will know it is selected when you see a little circle in the center and on each corner. The circles on the corner you can use to size and shape how you want. To delete it, works exactly the same. Make sure it is selected, and you want to right click over either one of the corners or the center circle, and you can just say delete. You can put on other tools like a trend line or a horizontal line or a vertical line. You can find that in your toolbar in the lower level here. So you can see that there's my vertical line, there is my horizontal line, that there is my trend line. So if I want to place a trend line, I'll just click on that, and then you will see my mouse looks a bit different, and you can just left click, hold, and we can drag. If you see a very long trend line like this and you want to shorten it a bit, this is what's known as a ray function. Double left click on where you've drawn it from, and you can see almost a square over there, and over there. Then you know it's selected and you can adjust it as is. If you don't see the squares, you won't be able to interact with it. So you can right click over that, go to trend line properties, go to parameters, and make sure ray is unticked. Under common, you can edit the colors, whether you want it to be a black trend line, whether you want it to be a thicker trend line. You can click OK once you're done choosing, and you can see it shortens the line. And you can put the last point where you want to put it. You can double left click over it to unselect it. Double left click, that is. And you can see as I'm trying to move it, it won't allow me. You can also add labels to your charts. To do that, you want to go to insert and then look under either text or text label. The difference is a text, I can put it in a specific part of my chart. Let me just label this as Dow Jones. And as I move away from that, the label will stay exactly as I planted it. To interact with the label, to maybe change properties and everything, you can just double left click on the label. You will see a square box around it. That's how you know it's selected, and you can move it to where you want. You can right click over it, you can delete here, and you can go to text properties to edit it. Whether you want the sizing to be bigger, whether you want it to be a different color, you can just click OK and you can add it like that. Let's delete that quickly, and let's go over the other label, which is the text label. So that was regular text. This is a text label. A text label, if I plotted somewhere and I plot it there. If I move my chart, it stays exactly where I plotted it. So that's the difference between those two. Let's go over how to create a profile. So what a profile is, it's a collective band of charts with all the indicators and everything set, so that you can maybe share it with a friend and they can have the exact same charts as you, or whether you just want to save it so that you can select it for a different day or later. First thing we need to do is we need to create a profile. So I don't just want to trade with one chart here. I'm going to go out of the chart and let's see how we can shape it. To shape your chart and fit it into your terminal, you just want to come to the borders of the chart. You will see you'll get a little drag option and you can just shape it as is. So I'm going to put in 3 charts for this example. Give me a second. All right, so now that I have my 3 charts plotted, let's see how we change the time frames on these, because I'm going to have a Dow 1 minute on this chart on this side, or Dow 5 minute this side rather, Dow 15 minute in the center, and a Dow hourly on the left. To do that, select the chart you want to change the time frame on, go to your toolbar and look for either M1, which is the 1 minute, M5 5, M50 to 15, whatever it is. So I'm going to go to M5 5. That's our 5 minute chart right there. Then I want to change this middle one to 15. So click it, make sure it's selected, and to go to M15. Then you have your hourly chart on the left here as well. Once I'm done, once I'm happy, to select a specific chart, if you have more than 3 on your terminal, or if you just want to go into a specific chart, another thing you can do if you can't see it is look on the bottom here. You will see US 30 at the bottom, US 35, US 31, US 30, 15. And you can just double left click on that chart and it will take you directly into the chart you want to go to. Right, now that we've done that, we're ready to create our profile. So what we want to do is go to File in the top left hand corner, click on that, go to Profiles, and then you can just say Save As. You can give your profile a name. I'll call this Profile 2, and you can just say OK. Once you're done with that, to make sure you've loaded that profile, you're going to have to close the whole platform, go back into the platform. You can see here by going to File and Profiles, you'll see Profile 2 is selected over there. Always make sure that when you're done using the charts for the day, you come to this little tab here and you go Save As, and you can save it over the profile that you want, just so that it doesn't delete anything if you do. The computer does a restart or an update or anything like that. Suppose you want to send this profile to a friend and you need to export it so that same charts as you. What you can do is go to the top left hand side of your terminal, go to File, Open Data Folder, and you should get this pop up over here. Under Profiles, double left click on that, go to the profile, which in this case is a Profile 2, left click on it once, then right click on it once, copy, and let's come to our desktop. So we're going to minimize our profile or our platform and just paste. As you've done that, to share it, you're going to need to compress it to a zip folder, and then you can send that to your friend. If somebody in turn sends you their profile, it will come in a zip folder like this. How you want to export it or import it, shall I say, onto your terminal would be double left clicking on the zip folder, then left click once, right click once, say copy, open up your terminal, go to File in the top left hand side, go to Open Data Folder. Then you just want to go to Profiles and you can right click and paste. To load that, you will need to close your terminal once again and reopen it. Okay, so for this next section, we're going to be focusing on purely the toolbar. And let's walk through every little thing on the toolbar so that we know exactly what we're dealing with up there. Okay, so the first thing I want us to do is we know how to plot in a new chart. So that's the first place we're going to look. Above this toolbar, you can see there are 7 options. There's File, View, Insert, Charts, Tools, Window, and Help. So we're going to just focus on the toolbar for now. We'll get to all these things in just a second. So firstly, you can see there's the Create New Chart. Then you can see the next option next to it is 2 little white and blue icons, almost like screens. And if you hover your mouse over it, it says Profiles. We obviously went through how to set up a profile. From here, you can click that and just select your desired profile that you want to use. Next to that, you'll have your Market Watch or Control M. You can click on that and that will give you everything that the broker has to offer you with all the markets, including the spread, which you can just right click and you can say Spread. And then on the right hand side here, underneath this exclamation mark, you will see the spread for each individual market. You can also right click here. You can check the high-low, you can check the time and all that stuff as well. So you can edit your market watch accordingly. And that's the market watch. So that is that option there. Next is the data window, Control D. We don't need to focus on that. That's not important to us. Next to that dot window is a little golden star with a golden file. If you click on that, that is your navigator, or you can go to your keyboard and press Control N. Under this navigator, you can find the account that you're logged into. You can click on this little plus icon to open up all your indicators. Click on the minus there to reduce that, put that away. Click on the plus to also show some expert advisors and also some scripts here as well. What is the purpose of your navigator? We're going to get to it in a little bit, but we mainly use this navigator to either import indicators or to import expert advisors. That is the purpose of this navigator. Next is your terminal, or Control T. You click that, this little bottom section will open. You'll see here's your account history or your trades for the day. You can right click and you can select a custom period, whether you want it to be last month, yesterday, last 3 days, whatever you want it to be. You can check your exposure, news, all that stuff. But really what we want to focus on is just the account history and trade. If you go to trade, we'll show your account balance, show your open positions, and yeah, that's the purpose of the terminal. Next is your strategy tester. It's right next to your terminal. It's a little magnifying glass with a little blank page behind it. Essentially, for the strategy tester, you can click on that, and you just want to you can only use it on expert advisors. So over here, you'll select your expert advisor that you want to test, and then you can select the date, the period, and what market you want to test it on. And then it's going to do a little speed run test for you. Something interesting you can try. Close that up. Over here next to that is new order. That is where you can put in some trade orders. You can click that and it will open up this. You can sell or buy and edit your volume or your position size there, as well as editing your stop loss and your take profit levels there. I don't typically like to use this. I use just the one-click trading, which we will get to in a little bit. Next to that is just your MQL4. If you want to code something, whether it's an expert advisor or an indicator or something you want to code in there, you can use that. You don't need to register a virtual server after that, or an account for source of trade signals. That stuff there is relevant. Auto trading, you want to make sure that's ticked. If you have any expert advisors on your chart, you'll see it's green when it's active next to that little icon there, and then it will be red when it's inactive. And then of course on the toolbar next to that, you can change from bar charts to candlesticks to line charts. I'm going to keep it at candlesticks for now. And then obviously next to that, you have your zoom in, zoom out. That's for specific charts. For example, I'm selecting this middle chart, this 15-minute chart. We can click the zoom out to zoom out, a little magnifying glass there, or you can click the plus magnifying glass to zoom in. Next to that, you have arrange windows as non-overlapping tiles, which is Alt-R. Essentially, if you have too many charts on the screen and you want them to all fit onto one screen, this is what it does for you. If you click that, you can see I'm going to click it, and then it just puts the charts for me automatically onto my screen. If I had more, it would try and fit it on for me as well. And of course, next to that, you have scroll the chart to the end on tick incoming. Basically, this little green arrow, if you are on a chart, we'll take this 15-minute chart, and if it is unticked, it will allow you to navigate to the left-hand side of your chart. If it is ticked, it's not going to allow you to navigate to the left-hand side of your chart. As you can see, I'm trying, but it just keeps pushing me back to where we're currently trading. Next to that, shift end of the chart from right border. If I click back, you can see on the 15-minute, it just pushes that trading information or where we're currently trading all the way to the right-hand side of the screen. If we want to make it a bit more viewer-friendly, you could just click that and it makes it a bit easier to see. Next to that is your indicators list, or this little green plus icon with a little white page behind it. If you have your mouse over it, it will say indicators list. Next to that is your periods. So here you can adjust your time periods for a specific chart. And then on the far right hand side is where you can select templates as well. We've already covered that. Underneath, you get all little tools. So you'll see you get your mouse or your cursor icon over there for your mouse. If you click the crosshair or Control F on whatever chart you selected, you'll see you get this crosshair. The crosshair is very good for pinpointing exact areas that you're trying to look at, if you're trying to point it out to someone or see it for yourself. And you can also left click, hold, and drag. Let's say I want to measure the length of this candle here on the 15. Drag it to the end. You'll see you get 3 sets of numbers. If you can see on my screen, there's a 2 on the left with a /2397 with a /, 44379. The important part is you look for that middle number in between those two forward slashes, which is 2397. That just shows you the range from wherever you've measured to this point. So at the moment, this is on the Dow Jones. It's a 239 point candle. I'm going to increase it there. Now you can see it's 244. That last decimal is not needed for indices. That is just simply the points. So it's 2,448 points. Obviously, 10 pips equals 1 point. So it would be 244 points or 2,448 pips. On to the next thing, you can select your vertical line. You can click that and then left click on your chart once. You'll add your vertical line. You can double left click on the vertical line to move it and adjust it to where you want it to be. And if it's selected, you can tell that. If there's a little square at the top, square at the bottom, then you can tell it's selected. If I double left click on it, it is unselected. You can see no square at the top, no square at the bottom. So if I try and delete it, it's not going to let me. To delete it, I need to double left click, right click, and say delete. Next to that, you have your horizontal line, which you can put on the chart the exact same way that you put the vertical line. You can just double left click over that as well to adjust, and also right click to delete if it is selected. Next to that, you have your channel lines or trend lines that you can draw. And you can adjust it, double left click over it. You can see there's a square in the center and on the left and the right. That's how you know it's selected. If I double left click, you can see it's not selected. Double left click over it, and you can use the left hand side to adjust, and you can use the middle just to move the entire trend line without changing its angle. You can right click over that as well to delete it. Then you have your equidistant channels over here. We don't really use that, but here you can use it. You just drag and drop it on here as usual. You're going to click it, then click this chart. Then double left click over it to select and delete as well. Then you can draw your Fibonacci. And to do that, come here right next to your equidistant channels, click on the Fibonacci, and then come to your chart, left click, hold, and drag that Fibonacci. You can see it is yellow, very unfriendly to look at. The levels aren't there. We don't have all of our Fibonacci levels, but let's not stress about that too much for now. We're going to get into Fibonacci in a little bit more depth on how do we edit it and all that later on in this video. You can double left click over this little dotted line that comes across from that 100 to the 0 on the third. You can see a circle in the middle on the 100 and on 0. That's how you know it's selected. Then you can shape it by using the 100 and the 0, so you can stretch it and drag it and place it. Whereas if you just come to the 50 where the middle circle is, you can drag the whole fib, not changing its shape or its size. If it's selected, you can right click over it and delete it as well. Next, you can find your draw text. So over here, you can plot your text. If you want, you can edit your text. If I plot it here, you can see as I plot it, if I wanted to just say text, I will not be able to move it. To do that, we need to double left click over it so that you get a little border around it, and then you can move it. You can also, once it's selected, delete from there. So moral of the story is once you have any tool or item selected, only way to delete it is to make sure it's selected and right click over it and delete. Works differently with your indicators. You would just come to your indicator like this 50 moving average here. You would hover your mouse over it, you would right click, and then you can say delete indicator. And it works the same for stochastic, for example, over here. Come to your stochastic, right click over it and delete. And then yeah, you got your time frames here, and that's the toolbar. Very simple, very easy. Now, what do these other options have for us up top here? You have file. If you click on that, you have many options to choose from here, such as creating a new chart. You can open deleted charts that you previously deleted. You can select certain profiles. You can, save or anything like that. Open a trading account. There's a bunch of things for you to do here. Next is view. Here you can change the language of your terminal. You can edit your toolbar. You can customize it and insert, remove certain things that you don't want over here. Come to your symbols over here. This will just give you all your different types of markets, and you can essentially open up a chart from here as well. Also, next thing is you got your market watch, you got your data window, you got your navigator, you got your terminal, you got your strategy tester as well on that view, which is all in your toolbar already. Next is insert. Hover your mouse over it. You can see here you can insert indicators. You can put in lines, which is all already on your toolbar, but there's additional options for you here if you don't have it on your toolbar. You can go to lines, channels, all of this stuff you can put in. If you go into charts, here you can edit certain things on charts. whether it be your indicators on the chart, whether it be the time frame of the chart, whether it be the template of the chart, or whether you just want to refresh it. Lots of options being here. Next is tools. You can place in an order here, and you can do, if you want to use MQL4, you can do that as well. Next is windows, so you can sort your windows accordingly. So however these charts are positioned, you can, let's say I want to tile it horizontally, it will tile it horizontally for me. Or if I want to do it vertically, it will do it vertically for me as well. And then you've got help, which we don't really need to use, but it's there for in case. Okay, let's get into trading and how do we actually trade on this platform. So the first way of trading would be your immediate execution. So obviously in the market, you've got two types of orders. You've got immediate execution and you've got your pending orders. And we're going to cover all of that now. So your one-click trading or immediate execution is very simple. Make sure you're on your terminal. You want to go Control-O on your keyboard. And under trade, you want to make sure one-click trading is ticked. Not give you some TCCs that you need to tick and confirm. Once you're done with that, you can just click OK. Shouldn't have any issues. If you don't see an option or a box in the top left-hand corner, like you see on my screens, you don't see any box there, then what you need to do is look next to the market name in the top left-hand corner of the chart, like US30 here on the 5. And there's a little arrow, show trade panel, if you have your mouse over it, or Alt-T on your keyboard. You can click that, and you should have this box come down here. In the middle, you can adjust your position sizing. And then once you have your position sizing suited to your needs, you can either just click buy or sell to take your trades. It's very simple, very easy. Next thing we want to do to be able to see our trades that we've taken is you just want to go Control-O again on your keyboard. Go to charts and make sure show trade levels is ticked. Then you can see your trade. Once you've done that, you can click OK. All right, now if you want to put in the second type of order in the market, which we did discuss a little bit earlier, which is our pending orders. There's two types of pending orders we can put in: our stop orders and our limit orders. So let's have a look at how we put in our stop orders. So we got two stop orders. We got buy stops and sell stops, meaning when the market reaches a certain level, it's going to register a buy automatically for us if we've placed a buy stop in. Or if the market reaches another level, maybe to the downside, it will pick up our sell stop and it will register as a sell automatically. We don't need to worry about clicking the button. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put in a 1 cent position in case I do get picked up to just have market open. What you want to do to place a buy stop is hover your mouse above where market's trading, right click, go to trading, and then put in the buy stop option. We'll see there's your buy stop. Because it's a pending order, I can move the buy stop to my desired level. If I double left click over the buy stop, this box will come up where we can edit our stop loss and our take profit levels. So what I like to do, if it's a buy stop, I just hold this stop loss arrow a little bit down for a few seconds. And then I do the same for the take profit, just the other way around. If it's a buy, I press the upward arrow for a few seconds and you can click modify. And let's zoom in a little bit here. You can see I have my stop loss placed there, my take profit placed there. If I'm not happy with that and I want to rather just put it at a level and I want to be quick about it, you can just take your mouse, left click, hold and drag the take profit to where you want to put it. And then you can do the same with the stop loss. Left click, hold and drag over the stop loss and drag to where you want to put it. Now, because this is a pending order, you don't have to keep it in the market. Suppose you're walking away from your computer now, you don't want to trade with this anymore. You can just hover your mouse over the buy stop line like that, which is the green line, right click, and then just say delete. And that will cost me nothing. If I go and show you my trade history on the account history on our terminal, you can see there was my buy stop and it cost me a total of nothing. So before you get picked up, if you delete the buy stops and sell stops, it will cost you nothing, at least the Trade Nation. I'm not sure about other brokers. Sell stop works pretty similarly. Instead of hovering above where market's trading, you'll hover below where market's trading. You'll right click, go to trading and click the sell stop option. To edit the take profit and stop loss levels is exactly the same. You can double left click over that horizontal line and edit them over here. You can also delete it and also adjust it to your desired levels. Our next type of pending order in the market is our limit orders. Work exactly the same as buy stops and sell stops, just they do the opposite. So if I hover above where market's trading, I'm going to right click, go to trading, And then there's the sell limit option. So the only difference is instead of that picking up as a buy, that will register as a sell. You can double left click over the sell limit, adjust the TP and stop loss levels, and you can drag it to your desired level as well. And then for a buy limit, you will just hover below where market's trading. You will right click, go to trading, and then put in a buy limit. To edit the take profit and stop loss levels is identical. You can also hover over that level and right click to delete. All right, so the last thing we want to cover with regards to trading is setting alerts. If you're walking away from your computer now and you don't have time to look at it, but you want it to notify you when we've hit a specific level so that you can take the trade, that is what we use the alerts for. So what you want to do is, for example, I'm going to put a horizontal line here. I want to enter at that horizontal line. All I'm going to do is right click in that area, go to trading, and you will see there under sell limit and buy stop is our alert. And you can see it will show as an arrow over there, a little red arrow. We can also drag this and drop it to where you want it to be. But when the market gets to that arrow, you're going to get a ping from your MT4 telling you, hey, we have hit this level. It's time to take your trade, or it's time to take your stock, whatever you're doing. You can also right click over it and modify it, or you can right click over it and delete it. All right, that concludes this MT4 tutorial. I hope what I've taught you is going to really aid in your trading and make things a lot easier for you when you are using the platform. Using this platform can be so crucial in improving our trading and making things a lot easier for us when we are trading. And it can also help us be quicker when we want to execute the trades. So if you need to rewatch anything, don't hesitate, go back through the video, and I hope you guys have a good trading journey.